and Le Mans Classic every year, and I'm pretty sure it might have been your voice that narrated the Le Mans computer game that my dad had.
I did do one for Ferrari, I think.
Was it Ferrari?
I did the BTCC, the first one of those.
Of course, yeah.
Still remember me doing that for, and the red car is and all those things.
Yeah.
And to repeat everything, and the new Renault driver is rubbish, and the new Renault driver is very good, and the new Renault driver is an idiot, and the new Renault driver is on pole position, which is quite fun. It's a bit done more easily now. They just
It's probably AI now, isn't it?
AI
Yeah.
do it for you, yeah. Do my voice, do everything. So yes. I quite enjoy still, critique cars, and that's what I always did. And but yes, disappeared off television now. That's for a show, so it is all YouTubing. So I still do some with Drive Tribe, which is now just Mr. Hammond's. He bought out the other two, and that's still going quite strong with his daughter Izzy. Obviously, doing a lot of stuff. And I played with Vicky on her driver reviews. So I did a couple of BMWs, and in fact, with Drive Tribe, I'm doing the new Noble 500, and the new. What was the other? The Lamborghini, the 400. Not the Lamborghini at all.
No.
What's the other sports cars? No, the Italian manufacturer. Alpha. No. Who's made a sports car recently? Come on, where's a car person? I never remember the anyone.
Maserati, Ferrari.
Maserati. The M20, but it's a new upgraded version of the M20.
Oh yes.
But unfortunately, this is half the trouble now with filming, especially YouTubes and even others with love cars, is to get tracks you can afford, because tracks now, they're costing like £12,000 to have an exclusive track for a day. And we just can't afford that sort of thing. But everyone goes to Landau, where you see Chris Harris is at Landau a lot. I think it's pronounced almost Landau.
It's better than I could have done.
Chris lives in Bristol, so Landau's just over the bridge.
Yeah.
So, but there's only about one corner to drift on, so you'll see me and Chris drifting around the same corner.
It must be a similar relationship with yourself and Thruxton, I suppose, with it being your local circuit.
Yeah, we can't get noise, you see.
No.
They only have 1 or 2 days a year, the race days where you can have noise, so we've got all these problems. Croft has the same thing, which so restrict what you can do on circuits nowadays. Even though at Thruxton it's an airfield there, and so every time we're trying to be quiet on the track, there's aerocraft going across the top.
So I know you mentioned the new Noble M500. Have you driven it yet?
No, that's for July, so I haven't driven that one.
Because I was recently on Silverstone, the national circuit, and it was a non-noise day, and I was in I don't know if anyone knows my 350Z, it's a bit of a noisy one. I mean, you can imagine the sound of a 350 with a stupid exhaust, but that was that one day a year that I am actually allowed to drive a 350Z with no exhaust on track, and the Noble test driver, didn't get his name, I'm sure you must have met him before, he was on track with the M500 as well, obviously much quicker than the 350, but to see the new car that hopefully we'll see on the roads very soon, he did say there's a couple of customer cars that are ready now, but they're not quite with the customers yet, but to see that on the track was very special. It was a big mixture of cars. It's always good fun.
Except nowadays they're getting almost too expensive and too exotic and 1,000 horsepower and all that rubbish. And the best supercar ever is the McLaren F1, which only had 640 horsepower, but it had no traction control, no computers, it was manual gear change, manual braking, everything was manual. So it was brilliant. And 640 horse was enough, as Rowan Atkinson would testify after putting his F1 in the hedge a couple of times, and then managing to sell it for £12 million. So I suppose that was great. And now they're worth about £20 million.
Yeah.
They were, what were they when they came out? They weren't in 1 million.
They weren't
500,000.
Yeah.
But that's a fantastic supercar. But now they create these hypercars with 1,300 horsepower. But you never have 1,300 horsepower because the computer is there to take it away from you to make sure you don't put it in the hedge. So it's a bit of a stupid thing coming out with more and more horsepower, sort of war between hypercars. And there's a new production road car from China that's now got the new 304 mile an hour top speed record for production road cars. I think it's an electric thing, I don't know.
It probably is, but, and it's good of them to show that they can get to that speed.
No, it's stupid. Stu cares how fast you get in a straight line.
I was speaking with a bit of irony there, yeah.
So you've got a collection of cars. You've got a 350.
Yeah. So I've got my Dodge Viper, and then I've got an AC Cobra, but not an original one because I don't quite have the minerals for that. So they're my garage. The two blue and white striped cars. 350Z, Toyota Chaser, which is some imported drift-looking car. An MGB, which was my first car. And are you familiar with the Mark I Renault Twingo?
Probably not, no.
They never sold them in the UK. So when I was a kid, we'd go to France, and whenever I'd spot one, I'd be like, Twingo, Twingo! And my dad would be like, what? Why? They're the worst cars. And I found one that was like in the UK that had been imported, owned by a lumberjack, and we've just welded that up, and that will be on the channel soon, hopefully, with an MOT. And then I've got a 944 Turbo as well. I think that's the... But I was going to...
I raced those. That was one of the most underrated road cars.
Would you like to buy mine?
No. I don't own cars. People always think, what, you've got your garage, Tiff, which Ferrari, what Lamborghini, and... Well, no, I haven't got any of those. I mean, everyone assumes you're on telly, you earn £1 million a day like Jeremy Clarkson does. So I never had a great bit of extra cash. I mean, I'm not complaining, I'm doing all right. But I've never really thought about spending money on road cars. Because I drive all these exotic supercars on for filming reasons, so I know what they're all like. And you can't take them on the public roads and do anything with them, really. So I've got a 320i Touring, which is just, you know, just a 2-litre BMW estate car, not a stupid SUV which everybody wants to buy. Because people like you are buying SUVs, they're dropping estate cars. Estate cars have better, whatever your money is, you have much better storage space. The back of an estate car is a long boot, so you put golf clubs and things in the back. Whereas all those SUVs, you open the tailgate, you've got about 1 foot of luggage space, everything falls out on top of you. They're ridiculous, stupid things, just because I want to sit higher up.
Yeah, well, estate cars look better, they probably handle better, because the lower centre.
Handle better. I always want to drive sitting as near the road as possible. The opposite of an SUV drive. I don't want to be up high, I want to be as near the road with my bum, so you feel like you're a driver and not standing on stilts like Clarkson and his Range Rover. I love my Range Rovers wobbling about with his fat. Actually, his fat belly's not as fat anymore now, is it?
He's been
Ozempicing.
I'm not personally attacked. I couldn't say. But no, you often hear from. Obviously, you are a race driver. That is your preferred.
I'm glad someone remembers. I'm a racing driver first.
Yes.
TV tart second.
Of course. So you often hear from race drivers. I know. I got a mutual friend with Damon Hill, and he doesn't have a car collection. Because, you know, you drive the best cars in the world, or some of, or up to, on track. Nothing really on the road can keep up with that. So you often find that actual racing drivers don't often have a collection. But have you ever, you know, had an itch you needed scratching, like, oh, I'll get an Alpha or something like that?
No.
No?
M3 BMW, an old one. They're getting too heavy now. So the M3, I mean the new M2 is like the M3 was 10 years ago. So the M3 now is a 1.7 ton. It's too heavy. Everything's getting too big and too heavy. And, I mean, the best recent car I tested of all is an Alpine A110, little sports car, which is only 1,100 kilos, I think, almost a ton. And it was just so, when I got in it, so people don't really understand lightness. We're all getting too used to. Even driving a BMW 3 Series or an M2 on the racetrack that I do at Thruxton in my passenger rides, and you get used to heaviness. If you suddenly get into an old-fashioned lightweight, and you only got to drive 2 miles, a couple of corners, a couple of bumps, and you think, oh, it's alive in my hands. And that's the thing we're all losing with electric EVs. I don't mind EVs if they suit your lifestyle. You've got to plug in and you've got to work them back, and it's brilliant. You don't have to go petrol, no more petrol. They're more expensive to buy than they are a petrol equivalent to the same sort of size of car. But they've got no heart or soul in them, and they're just all heavy. And you just feel the weight going around corners, and you think, the world's done.
I'm sure that they do have their place as an. I don't want to go too negative, but as an appliance, as a tool for the job.
That's what I said. If it suits your lifestyle, I mean, people are saying that, you know, obviously the worst thing I think is for poorer people. Do you use every word? You're poor, less income, whatever. But students and the youngsters, because my son's got a 20-year-old Corsa that he bought for £1,000. And he took it to the south of France and back with his mates, had a great time. £1,000 car. Now in 20 years' time, there won't be a £1,000 car, because the cheapest electric car, you won't re-battery it for 30 grand, you'll just throw it all away. So for lower income students, there won't be cheap cars.
No, and the students who live in their apartments, in their flats, they won't be able to keep their car on charge overnight with it parked on the street as well.
I've thought about that. So to be fair to them, because a Mini only does about 100 miles, doesn't it? It was so ridiculous. that what you'll do is you'll have to spend all, because you won't need to charge it every night if you're living in London. So you'll just come to a Friday night. You say, all right, mate, I'll just go down the charging station for an hour. So I'll see you later. So it'll be your charging night. One week of the night, one night of the week. You'll have to go charging your electric car.
Well, I suppose that as the generations are getting busier and busier, compared to, you know, I go back 100 years, I'd say we were less busy. Nowadays, everyone's so here, there and everywhere. There might be a switch now. We're going to have to get used to just sitting around doing nothing whilst our electric vehicles charge. But as I said, like, to serve it wasn't meant to go onto an EV rant, but here we are talking about it. But to serve the purpose, they're fine. But it's when they start getting into the enthusiasts market and say, oh, this brand new car can do 0 to 60 in this uncomfortable amount of time, like 1 second. So, it's not.
I don't want to do it.
No. So I've got no concerns that combustion engines are going to go anywhere soon. Like people say, oh, what do you worry that you won't be? No, we're going to be driving for, because you know the way I say it is people with power have money, and people with money have money in cars. Let's go back to the McLaren F1. They're not going to want their car to be unusable, undrivable, and I think we've got a lot of time with our combustion vehicles.
And people forget that living in London and metrocentric, they just think, why do you want these petrol cars? Why do you want them? Look here, today.
This is why.
This is why. Because we do all love our cars. It's whether you're fishing or whether you're acting, whatever your hobby is. You know, cars are a hobby. They're a whole lifestyle for so many young people. They love playing with them and tuning them and parking the car back with your bonnet up and looking at woofers and tweeters and that sort of thing. And it's a joy that we have, and hopefully it'll long continue.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Well, I think it's a perfect time to bring on Paul, because he is one of the main reasons that we're both here today, and we can talk about exactly what's going on. So do we have a third microphone?
I think he was given it. Paul,
yes. You haven't got one yet?
Well, where do you go? It's yours. You have now.
Would you like to try the central seat, and hopefully we got no feedback?
I'll be the rose between two thorns.
Perfect.
Wait till it all starts squeaking. So, Paul, this is your event. You created this event, as I understand it.
Well, it's a nice story to tell. A lot of people won't know. So the JPC is my son James Paul Connaughton's name. Sorry if I get emotional, because this is a very emotional subject for me. So my son James was born in the year 2000. We knew something was wrong, but we didn't know what was wrong. He was diagnosed with hypertonical cerebral palsy, hypertonia being that he's floppy rather than stiff. And for many, many years, we had no understanding about why James the way he was. We always believed there was something genetically wrong with James. And then in 2014, there was a rare genetic disease syndrome called Pura syndrome. And in 2018, after my son James had full corrective spinal surgery because of his hypertonia, I got an email saying that my son had been diagnosed with this Pura syndrome, and he was 225th in the world to have this rare syndrome. And obviously that I have holiday homes all over the world, because obviously we're such a small family of families who suffer with this syndrome. And we all started talking and communicating together about what's happened. And James was one of the eldest ones in the world, so everybody was looking at me and Julie to say, what's the future look like for our children? And one of the things was all the kids had hiccups when mum was expecting them, or during the pregnancy term. That doesn't necessarily mean, guys, just because your baby has hiccups that it'll have Pura syndrome, but it was one of the unique features behind it all. And unfortunately, the main one being oxygen starvation at birth, which is where the cerebral palsy comes into it. But obviously now they've found out that it's not specifically cerebral palsy, but Pura syndrome.
But you talk about homes, because that's what you've created with the charity. When you said you other homes, you said you've got hundreds of homes around the world. I thought you're not that fucking rich, are you?
You were in the wrong field, Tiff.
So you've
families, I mean. So because we've got families with this rare syndrome. Obviously, we communicate to people in Hawaii and Russia, all over the world. And one of the things that we openly talk about as families is, if you ever come to the country, my home's your home. And so basically, back in 2015, James, we had a 50-inch TV, never shown any interest in it whatsoever. And I was sat rarely watching the Formula One Grand Prix at Silverstone. With Lewis Hamilton driving, and they went through the chicane and they made that noise, zing, 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 zing. And a light switched on in James's head, and he looked at the TV, and I shouted Julie in, zing, 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 and he had this massive smile on his face. I said, Julie, listen to it. Here's my son just wheeling in now, just like this was all made. He's just literally live. So my little boy James PC's there. He's 26 years of age. He was 26 just over a week ago. So should we say a quick happy birthday first before we talk about anything else? Ready, James? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Now, James, anytime he hears happy birthday, he thinks it's his. So James is actually 143 years of age. So, so he's the inspiration by everything that we do. And I'd watched Nick Hamilton moving from Renault Clear Cup to British Touring Cars, and his first race was going to be at Croft Race Circuit. And I thought, he inspired me doing his training programme, Driven to Inspire. I thought it'd be lovely to meet him. And James and I kept going back to his garage, couldn't catch him. I think it was about 6th or 7th time that we eventually got to meet Nick and Anthony Hamilton. And there was a picture taken of Nick and James, but Nick had his helmet on, and the Northern Echo put Nick Hamilton makes little boy's dream come true. And I actually thought to myself, do you know what? There's something I can do about motorsports as an inclusive motorsports event that can put children and adults with special needs as the focus. We call it flipping it. So basically, they become our priority and they become our VIPs. And thanks to you lovely guys, you support this event and make it work for us. So Nick Hamilton doesn't actually know that he was the inspiration behind JPC Specialist Motorsports. So I did an event at Hardwick Hall, and I say Tiff's been with us as my patron since 2017, so it'll be our 10th year next year, Tiff. And I did it at Hardwick Hall, and Virtue Motors sponsor Nick Hamilton in the driving team this year. And they said, Paul, we understand that Nick Hamilton had some sort of involvement in your life, and I explained the story. So I'm meeting Nick again in September when they're at Croft with James, so they can reunite the story. But I just want to share something else with you. I always wanted to meet Lewis, but I never ever pushed it because Nick was the inspiration behind it all. And we did the first event, Tiff, in 2017, and I'd asked Tiff and Dr. Andrew Chauvelin, who was the chief race engineer for Mercedes-Benz Formula One, if they would attend the event. And I asked them both, would they consider being patrons? And at the time, you were both really busy. And Tiff came and Andrew Chauvelin came. We met, we had the most amazing time, didn't we? And Tiff and Andrew said, can we have a word with you, Paul? I said, yeah, of course you can. I said, look, what you've created is unbelievable. And you actually said it was like Goodwood 25 years ago, didn't you? And I thought that was just an amazing accolade to have. And both Andrew and Tiff became our patrons. And then the next thing, Andrew said to me, are you free for coming down to the Petronas factory? So I'll have to check my diary because I'm a busy guy. Anyway, took my family down, took James down, and I was chatting away to Andrew, and this guy taps him on the shoulder, and I turned around, and there's Lewis Hamilton waiting to meet us. And he gifted us the left wing flap of his winning Monza car, which they put on a carbon print. And we auctioned that at the ball, didn't we, on the night time? So all I'll say to you is, follow your dreams. Honestly, I could tell you some amazing stories about the people that I've met. I met Adam down at Carwow, didn't I, when I was down there. And obviously Tiff and I have kept as friends and patrons as well. And I just want to thank all of you guys, because without you coming, these events wouldn't happen. And Daniel at the Motorist has a sister who's got special needs. And I came down here to do a podcast back in January 2024 and met Daniel. And we instantly bonded because of the links between his sister and my son James. And it's transpired, him supporting my events over the last few years, him coming to me and saying, can you bring Smiles to Miles down here and be part of the Motorfest? And I'm so glad that we brought it down here. And I'm so impressed with so many thousands of people that have turned up today.
You got a car for me, you introducing that?
Oh yes, so
Oh yeah.
we've got a special surprise.
Are we going to bring a big crowd to a smaller area now?
Yeah, so if you want to follow us over, we're going to do a bit of an unveil for Tiff. He doesn't know.
And he hasn't seen it.
And it'll be good to see what his reaction is to it. So it's a very, very special car that we want to show.
Does it drive?
Could he drive it, Alex?
it might take we might have to chat for a few minutes to work that out. Or do we bring the crowd over to
Alex,
area one?
I'd suggest he doesn't drive it with the cover over though, because he might take a few people out.
Might be difficult. Might be difficult. So should we go over?
We'll go over there.
So zone 1, which is where my car park, right in front of the Motorist Cafe, is where we're going to head over, and Tiff's going to be unveiled an object.
You're going to be unveiled.
Apparently Tiff's going to be unveiled. No, we are going to unveil an object to Tiff, a car. Let's not dilly-dally, and see the reaction. So we'll see you all over there. But thanks for listening to us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Come back later.
I don't think you'll get there.